Hey y'all, it's Kimbu. Good morning, and welcome back to the Other Alchemist podcast. It has been forever, almost. It's been a long time. 2025 has been a long time for all of us, I think. And that has been true for everybody I know. There's been some tragedy with friends and family. We've lost some people this year, some good people, and we've got a lot going on in the sphere around us. May you live in interesting times. Truly not what I ever wanted to do. I would prefer not to live in interesting times. But here we are, right? Here we are trying to write. And one of the things I wanted to talk about in this update is not necessarily, what I've been working on and what I've been doing, although it's a lot. As usual, I tend to do a lot. But what it's like to try to work through all of this. And one of the aspects of my podcast that I really want to give other writers is hope. And that sounds so cheesy. I know it sounds cheesy, but I think it's a very important part of being a writer is to embrace the joy of writing and embrace the hope that we have on completing a project. Like that's where we're all storytellers. So some of us tell genre stories, some of us tell more literary tales, some of us are, epic poets, we write epic poems, whatever. Some of us are artists as well, fine arts, drawing and painting and that type of thing. But it's hard to be creative when you're stressed out. And I'm not going to pretend that I have the answer. There are a couple of really good other YouTubers here on this app who talk about these things. I particularly love Strutless and the challenges that he's faced over the years, but that's just one of many. And they have great advice. Focus on what you want to do. Take time for yourself and your friends and your family. Take care of yourself. And, that's all great advice, but it's hard to do when you're already feeling bad. Well, I'm not sure a lot of people don't know it, but my mother had bipolar disorder, among many other things. She was a narcissist, and that's something I talk about in a more negative sense, but I don't really connect that to the bipolarism, which was just something that essentially ruined her life. And remember, this was in the late 60s, the 70s, into the 80s. My mother died in 1994. She died less than a year after she started taking some of the new medicines. I think she was on Zoloft, and it really made such a change in her. And it just breaks my heart to think of all the amazing creative things she could have done if Zoloft had come around in, say, 72. But it didn't. It came around, 20 years after that, and we deal with what we want to deal with. She was so creative, and all she wanted to do was be a writer. And she was a good artist, too. I still have some of her doodles and drawings, and she just was so talented across so many spheres. But the clinical depression and the clinical mania really prevented her from trying to focus on any of that. It prevented her from doing what she loved. And while I don't have a mental disorder of that degree, I have experienced clinical depression, and sometimes I go into those low-level depressions that drag on for a long time. I've certainly had my share. But what I'm getting at here is that we've all got something. And no, this isn't a segue into, we've all got something, you got to just, pull your bootstraps up and do the thing. We've all got something, I would like to say. And we should be compassionate about it. We should be empathetic about it. We should allow, we're just human meat sacks in this body trying to dream up stories to share with people. And some days you just need to take a nap. I'm fortunate that I can take a nap because I work from home, as you can tell. Probably I'm going to blur the background a little bit because it's still a little messy. I'm still redoing the studio. I've talked about this for so long. I redid it and then I redid it again. And now I think I finally got a good setup. I've got my recording equipment around me, including some lighting. And I've got a really nice new microphone. If you've been watching my shorts, Coffee with Kimbu, you've heard me talk about that. And the background is new because I'm not filming in my kitchen or any clear area. I've come a long way in the last couple of years. I hope you have too. I hope it's been a good path for you. So, what am I doing on that good path that I hope we're all on, at least a little bit every once in a while? Dragon's Grail 2 just wrapped up. That is the ongoing serial Dragon's Grail. So, the second book, The Lost City, has wrapped up. The third book is written. I'm editing it so I can start serializing it on my fiction blog, the Biblioteca. My nonfiction blog. That sounds so highfalutin. My nonfiction blog. No, it's just where I write stuff that has Skeptics Inspirational, which, if you don't know, it's a daily inspirational. I don't want to say quotes. There are some quotes in there, some older quotes, but it's basically a way for people to access some daily uplifting thoughts and questions that maybe give you a little bit of perspective on your day. It's all it was ever meant to be. It's a project I've had on the back burner for 15 years. Oh, longer than that, probably a very long time. It's been through several revisions. This is the final version. And earlier this year, or late last year, actually, I just decided to pull the trigger. Just like, okay, you know what? It's as done as it's going to get. So I've been posting it every day this year on skepticsinspirational.com, as well as on my blog, The Scriptorium. So that's still ongoing. It will be a book and possibly a workbook in 2026. Transmigrated Terry. I've had lots of questions about Transmigrated Terry. It is my passion project, and because of that, it always gets put last. Why is it? Why is life like that? Why? It's still on the agenda. It's on hiatus right now. My big focus lately has been on a secret pen name. I'm not going to share it with you. Don't ask. That I hope is going to make me some money. I realized that I need to just buckle down and do what I know works, which is write some niche genre fiction and put it out there and get some money. Money. Gotta have that money. Money makes the world go around. Yeah, it makes my world go around. The sad news, of course, if you haven't been keeping up with me on other platforms, is my dog Keely passed away. Her departure date was August 1st, and I miss her terribly. She's been a part of my life for 10 years almost. I got her in October of 2016, and I just miss her. She was a lovely dog, a rescue dog. She was older when I got her, so the fact that she lasted that long is truly amazing, and I am so very lucky for that. So as you can see, a lot has been going on, and it has been a year. So I took August off because of that. For variables of I was still doing work. I still have my side gig with the Novo Collegian Alliance, and I won't get into that here. That's for new college alumni. Very niche. Speaking of niche interests, and so I did keep working, but I just couldn't be creative, and that's what gets back to the idea of being compassionate. My dog was dying. I had some skin cancer that had to come out, so I was facing an operation, not a serious one, but still, you get stressed. I had friends dealing with deaths in their families, and, just the political environment in America right now, which is, I'm in Florida, y'all. We are the hot seat, and we have been for a while. So at some point, I just had to say, you know what? Maybe I should just, relax for the month. And I didn't relax for the month. I'm not sure I know how to relax. I'm working on that. But I did give myself some grace on working on fiction, on my creativity. You can't get water from a dry well, y'all. You can't. And I know there are a lot of hustle gurus out there who tell you how to schedule every day down to the last minute and gives you advice on how to plan for your quarter in excruciating detail, how you can just go, 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 go. And it's not that I'm opposed to hustling. I do it myself, and I love my work, and I love doing and producing the things that I produce. But you can't sustain that. I think that's something a lot of productivity gurus kind of miss out on. Ali Abdul talks about it a little bit more with some of his more recent work, dealing with burnout and trying to live a more holistic life. In fact, one of my books, collection of essays called Holistic Productivity, which is all about that, finding how your brain works, figuring out your own circadian rhythm, your own productivity zones, and playing to those. Because if you just hammer on yourself so hard that you can't even think straight, what on earth makes you think you're going to write a good story? Because you're not. I don't think very many people can. And I go back to a lot of people who wrote stories and books over the pandemic lockdown. And by and large, those people were ones who were already secure in their financial situations or in their family or supportive situations. There are exceptions to every rule, of course, but when all that's taken care of, you can focus on your dreams. I want you to focus on your dreams, and not in a way that makes you feel like you're behind the 8 ball or that you haven't done enough or that you need to hustle harder. I want you to focus on your dreams as something beautiful. I want you to think of your stories as something that you create with joy. And I want you to go take a damn nap, okay? Just go take a nap. You deserve it. And so do I. I'll probably take a nap later today after I've got a lot of this work done. Thanks for tuning in. I'll have some more productivity and craft episodes coming up, but it has been so long since I updated everyone. Just wanted to thank you for hanging in there, sticking with me through all this. We're going to see some more changes coming up. This blog is going to focus more on mindset, I think, than craft. It's kind of always been about mindset, I think, on the whole, than it has been about craft, because I don't pretend that I'm an expert crafts person, writer. I just have a few ideas here and there. So that's all going to be coming up. It's all going to be what I'm doing moving forward. If you want to reach me, you can find me at the Scriptorium. You can read my recent fiction at the Biblioteca. And of course, if you go to houseofyork.info, you'll find all the links to all of my projects everywhere, and that'll give you an update on what I'm doing. So thanks a lot, y'all. I appreciate it, and I will be seeing you again very soon. Take care.